welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something really interesting, how to create a corset with proper waist reduction. Corsetry is all about structure and shaping, and if you've ever wanted to make a corset that really puts in the waist and creates an hourglass silhouette, then this video is for you. Let's get started. I've drafted my basic bodies. I have my shoulder dart and I have my waist dart. So for the shoulder dart, I used 2.5 inch hair, and then you know the shoulder measurement originally stops here. So because I've taken 2.5 here, I added the 2.5 back here. So for the waist dart, I took 1 inch here, 1 inch here, and then I make sure it ended on the half length. So we're not extending it downwards yet. Make it stop here. So the next thing we're going to do now is to create our cup. So to create your cup, you simply measure what you have from your bust points to your under bust. I have 4 here, so I'm going to measure 4 round into a circle. And then on this side here, however deep you want your corset to be, on that point, if you want it to be this deep, this is the bust point. So meaning this is where you're coming inward. So now we're going to come inward with ½ inch. So the maximum you can use for this is 1 inch maximum, because you don't want the space in the middle to be too wide. But I'm using just ½ inch. So I want the deepness to be just above the bust point, like 1 inch above the bust point. So I'm going to come in on that point by ½ inch. So you remember that I've marked a circle, this dot as I have here. So the measurement for this circle is from my bust point to my under bust. Whatever you have from here to here, you just measure it around into a circle. If you have a compass, it's very easy. You just put your pencil in the compass and then just use it to just make the circle round. So now I'm going to connect these dots together. So I connected it to the bust point here. So from this point here, you don't need to follow the circle, because if you follow this circle here, the line is going to come in. And then on this side of the body, the breast is always bigger on this side of the body. So this is the mark here that I marked for the circle point. So on this point here, I'm just going to come out by ½ inch. ½ inch. And then I'm going to continue with the line up. So this is what I have now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this point here to this point here. So now we have our cup shape. So this dart here, I'm going to increase it. I'm going to take ½ inch, this line here, I'm going to come in here by ½ inch and also come in here by ½ inch. But just note that how much you come in will determine how curved your cup is going to be. And that depends on how busty the person is. You know, some people are not really busty, and then some people are busty. So if you're taking your customer's measurement, you need to pay attention to the body. Some people have wide body, but they are not busty. Some people are busty, but they are not wide. So in that point, meaning you need to create more space for the boobs in the cup. Meaning you need to create more darts, because that is the only thing you can use to create shape. So here you can use ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch. You just take on this side and then you take on this side. And then I'm going to connect this to this point here. So this point here is just 1 inch or 1.5 inch from the bust point. Depends on how busty the person is. And then you do the same here. And then this waist dart here, we need to connect it to the cup also. So to connect that to the cup, from the under bust, you go up by 1.5 of an inch. Still depends on how busty the person is. So if this person's bust now was like a cup 32, a bust 32, you know this cup here will be very small. So if it's very small and then you're coming up by 1.5 inch, it may look too pointy. You may have like a pointy edge here. So I'm just going to connect this point here to this that we have here. Do the same thing here. Do the same thing here. And then on this point here, on this line here, which is the bust point line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch here. So the purpose of coming down by 1 inch here is just in case you intend to create a 3-piece cup. Just in case you intend to make your pattern a 3-piece cup. So all you need to do is close this. If you intend to make it a 3-piece cup, all you need to do is close this dart here. So that's after you've drafted the pattern, you cut it out, then you close this dart. By the time you close this dart, this one now, this whole place here will be 1 piece. Then you cut these 2 out separately. That's a 3-piece cup. But if you want it to be a 2-piece cup, you maintain these 2 darts. That means you're using just these 2 darts. This one here will be of no use, but we're just making that line there just in case we're making it a 3-piece cup. So after that, so now we're going to go into the main thing, which is the waist reduction, to create that really snatched effect. So this dart that we've marked here, all I'm going to do now is connect this dart to the corset length. So because this is where we want to take in more shape, I'm not connecting this down with a straight line. So it depends on the kind of corset you're making, and then depends on the shape of the person. If the person is like really shapy, like they have hips, you can connect this straight to this point here. You can connect this straight to this point here. But if the person is not very shapy, like they don't have like so much hip, and then you connect this straight to this place here, this place may have like a flare, may have this flare effect. So in that case, all you need to do is take in a little dart here, just a little dart here. You see that I took a little here, I didn't just connect it straight down, and I did not connect it to the middle line here. So after that, so now we're going to take our original measurement. So the waist of this person is 32, so that's 8. So 8. The dart here I have is 2 inches. So because I'm cutting the dart off, instead of 8, I'm marking 10. So the under bust is the same measurement as the 8. As the under bust is the same measurement as the waist measurement. So I'm marking 10 here too. So the corset length, I'm marking the upper hip measurement. So the upper hip of this person is 13. That's after dividing by 4. I have 13. So I have a total of 3/4 of an inch here. So I'll just add it and mark it here. So now I'm going to connect this together. Connect this together and then connect this with this. You notice that I'm not using straight lines. That's because the body is not straight. The body is not straight, so we're not using straight lines. Any sharp edge you have, like this sharp edge we have here, I'm going to still blend it in. You blend it in. We don't need any sharp edge. So now I'm going to take the bust measurement. The bust measurement is 42. Mark the bust measurement, divide by 4. So now I'm going to connect this point to this point here. So now this is the original measurement. We've not made any reduction here now. The dart we took here was just to create shape, right? We still have the original measurement here. So now to create shape for this corset now, to make it more shapy for the waist reduction. So for your waist reduction, you can use 2 inches or 4 inches. Depends on how snatched you want the corset to be. So for my waist reduction, I'm using 2 inches, right? So meaning I'm taking 1 inch here for the front and then 1 inch for the back. So you know when I take 1 inch here, by the time, you know this is on fold. So by the time we cut all our pieces, what we have here will automatically transfer to the other side. So I'm taking 1 inch here, and then for the back piece too, I'm taking 1 inch. So on the waist, I'm going to come in by 1 inch. 1 inch. So now the waist is what we want to shape in. We are not shaping in the cup. We are not shaping in the hip. So what do? You connect this. You connect this to this line here. Then on this point here, you take in the 1 inch tool that I took in here. So now I'm going to connect this together and then connect it into the upper hip line. So I'm just going to erase the sharp edges and blend it in. So you've seen now that we've made the waist more shapy. So you can also use 1/2 inch here, right? That's if the person wants the corset to be like really comfortable. So you know that now that we've removed 1 inch here, it means we have to lace it very tight to suppress the waist and cinch in the waist properly. So now the back, I've marked my shoulder and then I've connected the shoulder to the chest line. So the next thing we'll do now is take in our measurements. So the bust I used was 42. So the waist is 8, but I'm going to take in 1 inch dart here. So because I'm going to take in 1 inch dart here, I'm going to make the waist 9. 9. Then this is the hip line. So now I'm going to connect my lines together. And then drawing my armhole curve. So after that now, I'm going to take the waist dart. Remember I added 1 inch to the waist measurement because I said I'm taking a 1 inch dart here. So from here to here is half the bust span measurement. That's the nipple to nipple measurement. So on this side, I will distribute my 1 inch equally on both sides. That's 1/2 inch here and then 1/2 inch here. I'll do the same thing here. 1/2 inch here and then 1/2 inch here. I'll connect these two together and then connect these two together and then connect it like so, and then connect it like so. So now you remember we made a 1 inch reduction for the front, so we're going to do the same thing for the back. So for the back, I'll take my reduction on the waistline. So this reduction is what we gave you, is what is going to pull the waist in. So made my reduction, just connect it together, then connect it to the bust. Remember I said we are not using straight lines because the body is not straight. Our body is not straight, so we are not using straight lines. We are using curved lines. But make sure as you're curving your lines, you don't have any pointy edge. So now, we've put in the waist. So if we make this corset now, there's a possibility that the back may still be too big, not necessarily too big. So if the person wants the back to be like fully covered, then there's no need to make any reduction here again, because we've already snatched in the waist. But if the person does not mind, and then the advantage of taking this in too is, oh, just in case maybe the person lose weight, if the person lose weight, it will still be able to fit properly. But if you don't make any reduction here, if the person loses weight, the dress will eventually becomes too big. So what we're going to do here is make a reduction here. So whatever reduction you make here will determine how open the back is going to be. So the lowest you can use is 1 inch. So the maximum I think you should use is 2 inch, because you know this is on fold. 2 inch, by the time you open it up, it's going to be 4 inches. If you use 1 inch, by the time you open it up, it's going to be 2 inch. So we take that 2 inch from the top to the waistline. So when you get to the hip line, you reduce it. So I took 2 inch here, and then on this line here, I took 1 inch. So I'm going to connect that together. So this is going off. We have no use for this. We have no use for this. So now you cannot create whatever style you want at the back here. If you want just 2 buttons here, you will just create your opening, whatever design you want. That's up to your client's specification. So this is all we need for the pattern. So now there are other steps you need to take, which is when it comes to placing your boning. So we'll go to that now. So this is the plastic boning, and then this is the polyester boning. So I do not recommend this polyester boning, especially if you're making a asoebi and a bridal and all that. I do not recommend this polyester boning at all. So you only use this if you're making a bust caging, cage arts and all that. That's why I recommend this. Why? Because this is like really flexible. So if you use it, by the time you place it like this, right, when the person sits down, you see how it is on my body now, right? It's looking like it's laying, but when I sit, it creates like this curved shape, and then with time the curveness begins to increase. So if you're going to use this at all, maybe because you're working with a very lightweighted fabric, and then this may be too heavy, you don't place it like this. It comes like this in the roll. So instead of placing it like this, you iron it. This is how curved it is. You iron it. By the time you iron it, it becomes straight. Then you turn it around and place it like this. You see, as I'm placing it like this, you see how it's following the shape of my body, right? You see, but like this, it's not following. You see the gap it's creating on my underbust. It's not following the shape of my body like this. So instead of like this, you don't place it like this. So you place it like this. So the same with this one. This one is not really compulsory you iron it. However you use it, it always comes out in a perfect way. So this is how the boning comes curved like this. So you iron it out, or you skip the ironing, and you still don't place it like this. You don't place it into your channels like this. You turn it like this. So this is how you place it. You see the way it's laying flat on top of the channel. But if I put it like this, even if you iron it, you see the gap is creating here. It's creating a gap here. But if you put it like this, you see how it's laying flat. So that's all you need to know about waist reduction in corset. Thank you.